This happened on New Year's Eve in 2017. I'm from Ohio near Cleveland, and I was returning home after finishing my semester at the University of Rochester. I had to stay an extra week at school due to some personal reasons, which meant I even spent Christmas alone. My mood was already bad. I'm a die-hard Browns fan, and that day the Browns ended their season winless 0-16 after losing their final game. For me, it was a whole new level of depression. On top of that, my flight was delayed, ruining my New Year's Eve plans. My parents left for a cousin's house without me, leaving me to drive alone in our spare car. To keep me company, my mom suggested I take Vera, our golden retriever, along. It was around 10 p.m. when I set off. Ohio's backroads are mostly fields with patches of forest. The snow was light, but the darkness was so dense that without headlights I couldn't see anything. The eerie silence made it all the more unsettling. About halfway through the drive, Vera started getting restless. At first I thought she was bored, but then I realized she needed to use the bathroom. I stopped the car at a small clearing. It was so dark that if not for the thin layer of snow, I wouldn't have been able to see the forest at all. While Vera was sniffing around near the trees, a loud crashing sound came from the forest, like something heavy was running through it. The sound was so deliberate and intense that my heart started pounding. I turned on my flashlight and tried to peer into the darkness, but I could only see the first 2 or 3 trees. Suddenly, without any warning, Vera bolted into the forest. My heart sank. I kept shouting her name, but she didn't respond. I knew I couldn't leave her behind, so without thinking, I ran into the forest after her. Inside the forest, the darkness was even thicker. Apart from the faint glow of my phone's flashlight and the snow beneath, I could barely see anything. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching me. After some time, I finally spotted Vera, but she wasn't her usual playful self. She was crouched low, trembling, and her tail was tightly tucked between her legs. I grabbed her and started leading her back toward the car. But then the crashing sound returned. This time, it felt like it was following us. We ran back to the car as fast as we could. Once inside, I glanced toward the edge of the forest and saw 3 strange shadows standing there, staring right at me. A cold chill ran down my spine. I started the car and drove off without looking back. During the drive, I noticed a cut on Vera's shoulder, as if she had been stabbed by something sharp. I used the emergency kit to dress her wound, but my mind kept circling back to the shadows and the crashing sounds. I never told anyone about that night, maybe because I feel it's something that should stay with me and me alone.